Okay,
So that is what you're
Okay.
withholding until you can verify that.
okay, so I make a motion to hold funding until we can verify that,
Verify past expenditure.
verify past expenditures.
Verify the
specific.
annual reports.
Annual reports that are due per section,
Whatever it is.
what was the section, Ms.
It's
Vicky?
like
We asked for-
1803 or, just
Yeah.
add second class township.
Yeah,
Okay,
we asked
for
for
a second.
4 years. So are you saying that you wanna withhold funding until they can prove 4 years, or you would be comfortable at least with 2025 balancing out?
I know balancing out 25 is the easiest,
Yeah,
that would be easy because there's no
Zero.
expenditures. But what I'm saying is, if we can get 4 years verified here in a matter of, weeks, we should be able to get all 10 before September here, which is where the pass-through
Yeah.
funding comes out. I don't see a reason why we couldn't get it. We're 10 years delinquent, 3 administrations later. I don't think this was a surprise this was coming. Personally, I don't. And that's why I say that. And again, the funds will all be released in total, once we verify the information here. I don't see a problem with it personally. Now, how do you?
I agree. I think, once we get compliance with the reporting in a way that it can be reconciled, where money come, what money came in, what money go out, where did it go, show us receipts, okay? It's an audit, you're done, let's move on.
I just wanna make sure we're clear about
As much-
talking about withholding funding, what the outcome of, if you're really saying 10 years worth of annual reports, what if you're not happy with the annual reports? What if we find that there is misuse of funds or not, will that matter as long as they're in compliance moving forward?
We'll have to
And we
visit.
feel good about that?
We would have to
That's why I
verify.
wanna make sure we're clear on
Right.
what you're recommending.
Right, well, I'm just recommending right now, holding it until they give it to us. We can verify it, and once verified, we can release the funding to them. If we can never verify their past year's expenditures, we have a much broader issue. And we would
But if
have,
they're in compliance moving forward, it may not be a reason to withhold funding.
right, if they come into compliance, absolutely, we would just give them the funding. Yeah. That's all I'm asking for, is let's just come into compliance, that's all.
Just wanna be clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that you said that they didn't spend anything in the past year.
This is for the tax fund. So when I mentioned something, I'm only talking about the tax fund.
They haven't gotten it.
That's what
yet
we're
either.
looking at. We're not looking at their general accounts, we're not looking at their general fund, their general business accounts. We are looking at taxpayer money and the taxpayer money only.
I had the same thought at first, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Must be a good year.
So historically, it does appear that they generally use the taxpayer fund as maintenance and large ticket items. That's generally what the tax fund is used for,
Okay.
historically over the data we have seen. But I don't have the ability to reconcile that at this point.
So they don't keep records either way, of tax funds or the other funds?
I'm sure they keep records of both. We only have a legal right to the taxpayer funds.
Portion.
Right, they have two, I don't want to say accounts on how to do, two organizations there. Fireman's Relief is audited by the state, and they keep meticulous books for that.
Oh.
But our tax money, they're supposed to do the same thing, kind of bookkeeping, but apparently they're not. So we need to know. If you can do it for Fireman's Relief, you should be able to do it for your guys' money too.
Mr. Reed?
Is this supposed to be done every single year, and if so, why hasn't it been?
It's supposed to be done every single year. I
So-
couldn't tell you. I don't have an answer for that. I'm just trying to fix today's problem. Well,
But
you know what I
that's a
mean?
huge problem if it hasn't been done in 10 years.
But I can't talk about what happened prior to Ms. Fisher and
Well, right,
me and Bill.
right.
You know what I mean? I don't, I have where the last manager, or the previous, Ms. Tackett, she had asked for this information, this, exactly what we're doing here, and she's actually the one that points out they were deficient back then. So, this, like I said, it wasn't a secret, it's not a big deal. When we go with them, they don't really depend on our funding, is the way I understand it. It's just a bonus to them. They're self-sufficient over there, so this shouldn't hurt them too much anyway. It's just, hey, before I give you more funding, come into compliance here. And I think I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that, you know what I mean? It's your money, my money, and if I don't say it, you guys might look at me going, what are you doing, Lemon? You know, we told you to tighten the belt strip here, and you're not doing it, you know, so that's what this is about. We're just,
On average, how much do they get a year from the taxpayer fund?
60,000?
Roughly about 60,000 if you include the association's funds.
So just from
We
the
pay
last,
more than that, I mean, we do, we pay,
You have millage that is identified directly to the firehouse. It's .18 mils currently that is designated to the firehouse.
so for the, just going back for the past 4 years, there's 60 grand a year for 4 years. That's just unaccounted, you know, that has no counting done on it.
I'm sure there's some.
Incomplete accounting, I'll say that, incomplete.
But you don't know it. I mean, you haven't seen it.
I don't have enough to reconcile it.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's all we're asking for, just come into compliance here. You know what I mean, no big deal, hopefully.
If we're able to reconcile, that should be enough to be able to deal with any allegations, and that should also bring it into compliance.
Okay,
So you have made a motion.
I mean,
Anybody second?
I'll second.
There you go.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It was a messy motion, I apologize. Any other public comment?
I had a question. Do you guys
Oh, I'm
happen,
sorry.
do you happen to know, the bridge on Perkins Road? I've been getting notices, oh boy, sticky subject, I'm sorry.
No,
I've been getting notices about the closure of the bridge. Do you have any idea when it'll start? Have
It's
they-
supposed to start this summer,
Okay.
but it is a PennDOT project.
Well, it's supposed to start in October too, so.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
why,
PennDOT
For example.
Okay.
they did meet with the
Mentioned
township in
here.
'24 and say their project goal was to start construction in '26. I believe that's why you're starting to see notices, and other folks close to there are starting to see notices about closures.
Right.
That is one of those projects, they'll put it on their summer road projects list. And generally, that's pretty accurate. So, especially if they're sending out notices, I would expect them to start that work this summer, like they have said.
Hopefully they complete it before school goes back in.
that,
That's
well, no,
probably
it's
one of
supposed to
our
take over a
goals,
year.
Oh, is
Uh,
that a year? I thought
Yeah,
9
it's supposed
months.
to take over a year. I was a part of the stakeholder meeting with the other manager, Mr. Album, and that's what they said, it was gonna kick off in '26, and I believe it's 1, maybe 2 years.
Really?
And there has been
Close
work,
for that long?
there has been work directly with the school district to look at
Yes.
bus routes and openings and
Yes.
working hours to exactly accommodate them to make no route changes or pickup time changes.
Do you know what the detour would be?
So Little Road is all I got, is what they had said to us, they're gonna push them down Little Road.
So like Heimbach a little or? just-
I would say, no, they're gonna
Or Faust.
naturally aspirate both ways down Heimbach if you're going out towards Lower Frederick, you know, you'll come out towards, towards Faust there. Yeah, talk about pickup in traffic on the interior roads, you know, but thank goodness that they're all stayed up.
Will you throw temporary stop signs up and stuff? Like, do we have that option
They
at
will
Little
do all of
Road?
that, they have full
They
traffic.
do all that?
Yes.
They will do all that, that's part of a traffic plan that they've put together. It will address all of those kind of concerns.
Making a lot of left side of your driveway for a little bit here.
Maybe I'll get them in.
Paul had a question.
I'm sorry, Paul, you say, you got a question? You know, you guys are supposed to hit the podium, right? And talk from there. And nobody's done it in the 2 years Miss Fisher and I've been here.
There's not enough people here.
They did it, kind of Nate, Mr. Fire Marshal, you know what I mean?
Uh-oh, he's got a list.
All right, Perkins watershed, the flooding study that
Yes.
you guys got, everybody got. Are we having input with that, with the planning commission, or, I mean, we're not really, I know,
So that's the study that's been completed. The meeting they had this last week was basically their kind of announcement that they've completed the study and they finished their report. The next phases in that are to basically pick out, I believe they're going to target the top 10 projects that they want to go after that they think will have the biggest impact for the dollar. And they're gonna have meetings that are with those stakeholders, they have those projects identified by the township they're in.
are we in any of those assumed?
No.
Okay, so in the PC area, I mean, we're not really involved, or?
No, not really.
Right,
I think it's important for the township and probably the PC just to keep an ear to the ground if you want to attend those meetings, I think that's, even though we might not be a direct stakeholder, I always think that's an important thing to do. I have looked through briefly some of the projects they have outlined, and I know they have one in Green Lane that has a budget of between $50 and $100 billion,
B?
which,
Billion?
B with the B,
Okay, that's a lot.
which to me immediately
Oh, yeah.
raises.
That ain't happening.
VM was a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, that immediately sets off the red flag. Well, if you're gonna do that, the Army Corps of Engineers are coming,
Mhm.
because we're talking stormwater.
Yep.
And as soon as we start having an Army Corps engineer project, there's gonna be cascade effects for any changes that are made. I know that's looking at flows into the Perk Creek. And so that could have a carry-on effect, and that's why it's kind of good to kind of keep, a foot in the game. I don't think we did, the prior man, I think we could have had a better job in putting input in there while they were developing this plan, and I don't think we did a good job as a township.
So moving forward, is there gonna be
They will have,
scheduled meetings?
they will have scheduled meetings, they haven't
So
announced that schedule
it'll be a
yet.
new thing, because they've done their study.
It'll be done with the study, but now they're gonna start getting into the implementation, and that, for all intents and purposes, it's almost as important as the study, because when you start implementing stuff, that's when you actually get the carry-on effects. I'll give you an example of this. When I was the borough manager of Collingdale, there's a section of Philadelphia that floods off the creek there because it has, it gets pushed from tidal flows. So if you get a rain during high tide, about 300 homes in Philly flood religiously. And the Army Corps of Engineer basically is going to put in a levee, basically. It's a 8-foot temporary one with giant sandbags, and it's eventually gonna be a 12-foot levee. But that was estimated to raise the creek in my township, or the borough, by 18 inches on average. So if you take an additional 18 inches to your elevations for flood zones and things like that, it has a carry-on effect, and it's something to be very mindful when we want to make sure that we have a voice in those conversations to ensure that our concerns are also being considered.
Is that gonna be overlaid with what we're talking about tomorrow in the PC with the?
No,
Okay,
so what we're talking about
I'm
tomorrow
just-
in the PC
yeah, I'm
has
just curious,
nothing to
'cause-
do with stormwater.
yeah,
That's gonna be
It's kind of-
that's a geology lesson.
alright. And I have one more question.
Paul, you might wanna send Ed on that.
Ed
That's
stopped by,
something-
Ed stopped by
Volunteer,
today. But
Oh, did
that's a good spot for Ed to go into.
I
That
was
is,
being serious, yeah.
that is one of the
Yeah, he
things he's
likes
very
it.
into.
Him and Norm can do it.
Yeah, the MS4 fellas, you
Take
know
the
what I
geek
mean?
out of it. But, speaking of that, the snowshoe race, I know Ed's gonna probably say something, they're looking for volunteers to help park cars and stuff like that, it's the 24th of, January.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to help out.
They have, Ed did stop by today,
Oh,
he
did he
did
stop?
happen to mention that.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Did he have the flyer this time? He didn't have
He
it
didn't
last
have the
year.
flyer with him this time. He did mention they have over 410 people already
Yeah.
signed up.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
last year
the-
was a huge hit. I
It's gonna be
saw
the
it.
largest one in the country at that point,
I
So
thought it was
it's
last
gonna
year.
be a big
Good.
event.
yeah.
Awesome. Real good.
On another note, one more, the street light, I don't know if the township, Upper Frederick owns any street lights in the township,
No, we don't.
and since I don't live in a city, since there is a street light right on Knifeford Road, that we're getting a bill, we as the, St. Luke's are getting a bill from Pico for that light, it's like $43 a month, and they're telling me that the township owns it. Last time the light went out, we called Pico and they fixed it, the light's still out, and we're paying $43 a month. But they're saying the township owns it, so how the hell
No, we don't.
am I gonna figure out?
We can look up the deed and double check, but
Good
I'm
luck with Pico, pal.
I know,
Good luck
they
with
did come out
Pico.
and they did fix it, it didn't last a year, and I just wanna get rid of it.
I'm almost certain that is your property at the church.
I'm sure it is, it's on their telephone pole though.
Usually the streetlights will have a direct connection in their own account, is how Pico will generally set them
Would
up.
they charge the owner for streetlights, or does the Pico suck that up somehow and?
They will charge whoever the property and the owner is for it. Basically, they'll run its own connection to it.
Okay,
And
so all
they'll be-
streetlights that you see, some private entity is paying for that?
Mostly
Not
the town.
necessarily.
Not necessarily, it's like in Doylestown, I was a manager, assistant at Doylestown, we paid for all the streetlights in Doylestown. It was $150,000 a year in electric bills.
I bet.
That's Doylestown. They can afford that, you know what I mean?
Light pollution.
So,
I find it hard to believe it's the township's light. That's my,
for Doylestown, I would say, do we in Doylestown? Yeah, it's my light, I'll go fix that.
right.
I've never seen that, so I've been through
There's
every
only
single
one there, it's
Pico
right,
account
it's
here.
not on the corner, it's
But
down a little
it's
bit.
not in our listed accounts, and I don't believe that's on our listed.
And we're getting paid, we're charged for that every
Yeah.
month, right?
Yeah, I've been through Pico here, because
Oh, yeah.
it's a nightmare dealing with the billing for the township.
Yeah, they're good times.
And, it's real good time. Well, I spent months, I think 2 or 3 months, trying to get all of our bills consolidated, so I could just go on the web and.
Yeah, it's a
pay
separate
them.
light item.
And no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So that one, I can assure you, is not part of Upper Frederick, because I've talked about 10 different individuals.
Right. Okay, that's all I had, thank
You're
you.
on your own, you're not passing that bill to me, pal.
I'll get it, one way or another.
It's on you all. Anybody else? Ms. Phillips, you wanna get in on this, Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, I wanna know what's going on with that, place on Knifer Road, a historic place. I keep hearing it's
Oh,
gonna,
Bill?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So well, I don't know if you have any new information. I spoke to the gentleman who was doing a lot of the renovations down there, and the way I understand it, they're real close to
I keep
getting it.
hearing that, they're real close.
Yeah, you know, and then a new permit comes into me, you know what I mean? But I heard they're really close down there, and I can't wait to take a walk through. The guy told me he's gonna have us come
At
down.
PC tomorrow, we will have someone here from the planning committee for the county, and I can ask them.
Okay.
Because that is their property and that's their historic site. They were basically renovating the mill that's in there. They want to be able to do full working tours of it.
Is that on the river, maybe down the bend?
Right around the corner, yeah,
The
right before the bridge.
Bristol down there.
Um,
The history that's right there is unbelievable, the stories down there.
I have seen pictures of the inside, and I will say it does look close.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting a little trickle of permits still, but they're mostly minor permits.
Maybe we can get a grand opening date or something from them.
But I'll talk to the county tomorrow night and try to get a little more information out.
Gentleman back? No?
I'm good, just soaking it all in.
Taking it all in. I haven't seen you here before, so I'm like, let's ask him, maybe he's got something to put in here. All right, upcoming meetings, Planning Commission Board, their meeting is 1/15/26 at 7 PM. Parks and Rec, we're gonna meet on January 20th at 7 PM. Open Space is gonna meet on January 29th at 7 PM. And the BOS agenda meeting will be on February 2nd at
February 4th.
And it does say the 4th, I screwed that up again. The BOS agenda meeting will be on February 4th at 7 PM.
That's a workshop meeting, not
Yeah,
an
it is a
agenda.
workshop meeting.
Historically, you've always called them agenda/workshop,
It doesn't
but
matter.
it's a workshop meeting. That meeting is where we're gonna start our first discussion with these use regulations that we're putting out. So if you get into these and start looking to them, this is the meeting to come to where we wanna hear and have this discussion with the residents in the township and anyone that has a concern about it.
Yeah. Okay, any other public comment? All right, forever hold your peace. I make a motion to adjourn this fine meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.